Peace, brave awakened one. How to stay in line with your spiritual path. How to walk in your spiritual path with both feet. Peace, family. It's your brother Gadimshi. I'm super excited to be alive. Like, for real. Like, let me tell y'all about walking on your spiritual path with both feet. So, the spiritual path is an invitation to the true life, the kingdom of heaven within, and living from within the kingdom, even as you're walking about the day, even as you're going up and down on the places and all these things. It's really about being the center of unconditional love, first for your own being, your own self, and having the unconditional love to receive from yourself and display all of you to yourself so that other people can see you too. Now, the issue with walking on a spiritual path when we're dealing with people who are not on a spiritual path or who don't have reverence or respect for a spiritual path is that they see us from how they have subconsciously remembered us. So we may have people in our lives who see us, but they don't see who we are. They see their idea of us. They see the saved or recorded image of us in their own minds. How did that look? Well, if I was sitting here with my auntie, and this particular auntie wasn't really on the spiritual path in the context, right? Just basically saying aware and conscious of it. She may have me in mind and say, well, I want to see when you was in church 20 years ago. I'm like, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. What I am is a spiritual center. So I am the church. You can come over here and take a seat, you know? But in her mind, she might think of me from how she remembers me because that's how she saved me in her mind. So we're not really working with the truth right now. We're working with her idea of it. And this is what happens typically when we're dealing with other people who are not aware and conscious of the path. The path of unconditional love, the path of right useness, the path of awakened Christ, the path of an awakened God. She's going to be looking at me from her own mental remembrance. And it's interesting because even after we meet people on the spiritual path, the people who may have conscious awareness of themselves, they may still be living in their own idea of what life is. So they may have us in their lives, but think about us from how they only can think of us and not just accepting us as we truly are. What that looks like is being a resource of something particular to someone, meaning, oh, I'm going to call this person because this is my business manager, or I'm going to call this person because this is my coach, this is my tax person. You know, you would kind of like put a box on someone, even though we're aware of the form of creating boxes. So we want to alleviate ourselves from all these boxes, all these limitations, and all these mental restrictions by truly just being our own self and being our truth. So now how do we do this? So now this is where we start walking into how to walk on the spiritual path with both feet. Both feet means first with the logical aspect of our brain and also with the creative aspect of our brain. The creative is what I'm typically in most of the time is I'm like trusting my intuition, walking about my intuition's business, you know. Then the logical aspect of that could also be like logically choosing to only listen to my intuition, you know. So these two forms and function of the left and the right hemispheres of the brain have to come together. They have to come together in submission to the higher good. It's like, okay, well, I don't care how people feel about locks. I don't care how people feel about tattoos. I don't care how people feel about this. All that stuff is logical. How someone else thinks. No, those are both, that's on my spiritual path. So the only thing I'm thinking about is my spiritual direction, my spiritual guidance, my intuition, and my guidance. That's all I'm thinking about. Everything else is second to that. So to walk in this alignment with the logical and the creative is really about trust, logic, and then the creative is surrender, because you don't really know. And I'm not going to sit on this video and act like I know exactly how to walk. I'm just going to tell you how to not. Then you can figure out the good ways to do. Because as for myself, I'm choosing to trust my intuition, already knowing how good and accurate my intuition is every time. There's never been one time where my intuition didn't tell me something worth listening to. It's never been. There's never been. And in fact, mostly, if anything happens, it's going to be like a flashback. I'm like, dang, I remember I thought of that shit. Like, you know, so it's like the intuition's a gold seat and I want to sit there. So I'm trusting that, you know, but then I also have to surrender because I don't know what my intuition is going to guide me into. I don't. But I know it's going to be all things good, because that's all that there is. Whether it looks bad or not, it's going to be for my good. So that's where the trust comes in at. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, who love the law. And the law is understanding that I am the first one. And if you tune in, and people say God first, but then they second guess themselves, that's not God first. You know, God first is, this is what my intuition was, this is what we're doing. Now, sometimes you can reason to see if this is the right timing for that, but mostly intuition don't shoot and miss at all, right? So when you start walking in your spiritual path with both feet, you're going to have the trust in the qualities of your guidance, but you're also going to have the surrender to know that you might not know exactly how to trust. So let the how take care of itself. Let's go ahead and give how a new program, because sometimes people ask how, and we need to stop asking how, and we need to refer to how like a person. I feel like how is the holy, how are we going to call how? I use the word holy showed up first. The holy ordered way, you know? So we're not going to try to figure out how. We just going yes to how. The holy ordered way, whatever that way is, and let it be that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's easiest for me to do now than it has ever been before. So take this advice and see if it fits anywhere in your mental arrangement, and let yourself realize that the trust that you're going to have is in the quality that's never failed you anyways. So it's not like you're trusting in somebody or something somewhere in the sky someday, somewhere. Nope. You're trusting in the infinite, almighty I am presence that is recorded and still living as your own being in your holy, sacred mind and sacred heart. You don't have to go nowhere for this besides within. And we already here, so might as well just be really happy at home and tune in really good. So with that being said, this is a video illustrating how to keep both feet on the spiritual path and how to bring yourself into confidence while you're walking. It's really about understanding that we can't really create the better reality from the past without requalifying what's real about it. And I'm excited because I didn't really think that, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like I knew that this year was going to get better because I had already decided that I was going to do this, and it had to be good if I'm doing it. Then it took its own time. But now that it's at this stage of what it is, my confidence and my peace and my clarity levels, they just can only be spoken for. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all tuning into this video. Drop a comment and let me know if this video brought any type of clarity to you, or any type of insurance, or any type of encouragement, anything. I want to know what this video did for you. So comment, let me know. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video, and then hit the subscribe button if you want to keep walking with me. Light Power, your brother Gademshi. Super excited. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Stay whole. Peace.